Hello and welcome to CS Knit. Today is June 1st. It's a very impromptu video day, apparently. I wasn't even planning on making a video, and then about 5 minutes ago, I decided, well, I have enough to somewhat update on that I can do one. And this makes up for being late on the last one, I guess. Does it? I don't really know. We're going to pretend like it does. So, I don't really have a lot of any updating, but there's enough little stuff that I can just do this. So good morning, welcome. There's some excitement going on here, and I'll get to that in life in general. And I do have some projects I'm working on. I don't have anything out of the bag. I have no hose, no foes, nothing. Last week was like my big project week apparently, and I did get some big projects done as far as the blanket and those circle socks that had been sitting there waiting. So I got those off the needles. I got some new things on the needles. In my bag there is still the Viajante, which I haven't touched. Viajante 2 is still in one of my bags awaiting, but of course that will stay in a bag and won't probably even get touched for quite a while. Sorry if you hear my phone go off. You will also hear why it's going off in life in general as well. So, what's in my bag? I talked last week about how I wanted to consistently have socks on the needles, and I talked to you about my jelly bean socks. So I did start those. They're pretty fun. It's nice to have a striping. I've done self-striping socks before. The Shamrock socks were self-striping, but like I said, it's really nice to be able to see the transition, so I can look at it and be like, okay, I can go a little bit more and get to the next color. Obviously this is still the foot portion. I don't have any waist yarn in it yet or anything because I'm not far enough into it to get to the portion where there's the heel. But that is on size 0s in my 31 project bag. This is the, oh my gosh, I don't remember how to say it. It's in the Knit Picks. Felici, I think that's how you say it, in the jelly bean. And this is how it comes balled up. And it is really soft and really squishy. It's machine washable, tumble dry low, it's super washable and nylon. I do keep in my self bag also my waist yarn bag so that I can put in a spot for my heel. I really like being able to just knit until the heel, put in a waist yarn, because then you can take the project everywhere with you, and you don't have to worry about if you hit the portion where the heel is, are you going to have time to focus on that? Are you going to be able to count? Things like that, you don't have to worry about it. You just put in your waist yarn, go back on the thing, and then continue with your regular yarn. If you've never looked up the afterthought heel, look it up. I personally haven't gotten to the point where I trust myself enough to do like the true afterthought heel where you snip and everything. I haven't gotten to that one. I only do the waist yarn one. Maybe eventually I'll get to the snipping one, but I'm just getting used to the waist yarn one. So I think I'll stick with that one for a while. The other thing I started was the Stormborn shawl. And this is definitely, let me see if I can. It's supposed to, they kind of look like leaves almost, but they're supposed to be dragon scales. Yeah, you can see them a lot better when I stretch it out. And this was the yarn specifically made for this knit-along, and it's Jimmy Bean's and it's Fire and Blood. I think that it's Lorna Genevieve. I'm sorry. I apologize. Obviously, this is not put together too well. Lorna's Laces. You buy it from Jimmy Bean's Wool. It's in the shepherd sock. This shawl calls for 800 yards, and each skein is 430 yards. When I first started it, because I really like oranges is my favorite color. So when I first started it, I was really excited when I got this, and I started reading like reviews and such on like the Ravelry page and people that were doing the project, and they said that they had they didn't really like how the yarn was coming out, and I can see to a point what they're talking about. It definitely is like the yarn itself kind of makes the dragon scales disappear. I mean, when you're up close, you can see it a little bit. When I block this out, I think I'm going to stretch the out of it, because you can see them a lot better when it's stretched and wide open than when it's smushed together. When it's smushed together, it kind of does like a ripple-ish effect. It almost kind of looks like pointy waves. Truly it does. And I just like to be able, I don't know. There's so many amazing like yarn over details, and she really paid attention to those. Like that, it's really pretty. But I think I'm gonna block it out when I get there, and you can see the center spine there with my little sheep lantern moon sheep stitch markers. I am enjoying it. It's labeled as an intermediate project. I'm doing them on size 4s. Yep. And I'm using my Knit Picks Caspian needles, interchangeable needles. They're circular. What else can I tell you? The pattern is very intense. I am not. This is my second shawl. My first shawl was a Multnomah, which was a lot of garter, and then a little bit of effect with it. So this is my first like intense project, and it is intense. The person that wrote, I don't even remember who wrote the pattern. Let me look it up. Kristen Ashbaugh Helmrich. Apologize for that. For Jimmy Bean's Wool. It's got a lot, like, I'll show you one of the clues. This is one row, okay? That's one row. And it's like, it's not that big of a deal. Not that hard to follow along until you get towards like the end of clue 2. And then it starts telling you like, reference guide this one and do this mixed with this row. But it's not very like clear as to exactly what portion, or if you're supposed to do all of it, because some parts are in parentheses. And so I'm still figuring it all out. And it's not bad. I mean, it's a good experience for me, and it's a pretty shawl, so it's worth it. It'll be worth it in the long run. And I think I'm getting it, because I am to the portion where the directions are a little bit more confusing, and it looks like some of it's still proportion and somewhat coming together. Okay, so this half looks like it's coming together. This half kind of looks like it's a hodgepodge of stuff. I don't know. I have to look into it. I mean, it is what it is at this point, and at least I can chalk it up to an experiment. I'm not really heartbroken about it. I know that, yeah, it'll come out just fine somehow, some way. Some way or another it'll look different. So that's what's in my bag. As far as plans of putting other things in the bag, I don't have any right now. Everything is so chaotic here that I'm truly just kind of like hanging on to the coattails, and I'm just doing like socks. I've got multiple different skeins of sock yarn pulled in the vehicle so that when I finish these I can just do another pair of socks. And I still have like my Viajante and stuff to work on, so if I get too sick of socks, I can work on my Viajante too, just no problems there. I have been rotating. I've been focusing a lot on the Stormborn shawl, but it does take kind of a lot of concentration, and so it's a little bit difficult sometimes to do that while I'm watching Office. So in the mornings it tends to be a little bit more quiet in here. So I'm usually working on the Stormborn shawl in the mornings, and then I'll work on it here and there in the afternoon, but I usually go to socks in the afternoon because they're just fishy, which is pretty simple and straightforward. So I usually go to that. But I've got no plans to put other bigger projects in a bag except for different sock projects. So once I finish this pair of socks, then I'll start a new pair of socks. The topic today that I'm going to talk about is the difference between hand-dyed yarn and commercial dyed yarn and working with it, because I don't know the different process size. I don't know the difference between them all. But like this one, it's a hand-dyed yarn. And when I'm working with it, it's not such a big deal. But I notice after a while, I almost feel like my hands are dirty or there's something on them. And I think it's because of the yarn. Because I can do the same thing with like the sock yarn, and it doesn't make my hands feel dirty. And it's a lot, like when I go like this, my hands run a lot smoother over it. But when I go like this, it feels like it's still got fresh dye in it, or that the dye hasn't been fully washed out. Like, you know, when you have a product in your hair that is supposed to be washed out, but you missed a spot, and you just went on with your day, that spot, you kind of always just feel that spot's a little bit different texture. That's what this is like. Not that it's bad to work with. I just feel like if I was to get up and answer the phone right now, I would probably go in the back and wash my hands and then come back to work on the yarn. It's still fun to work with and still gorgeous yarn, but it just feels a little different. And I don't know. I mean, if you're a dyer, tell me. I don't know if there's a difference in the process, and that's why. I mean, I'm sure that there is. I just can't help but stare at it. The colors in it are so rich. I mean, is this the color on my shirt? So rich. So rich. I really like it. I like the look of it and everything. And I wear a lot of oranges. And a lot of blacks. I really like this. Probably why I like it so much. So, what's knitting new? I'm still waiting for metal stitch markers that I ordered, and the lady has not marked them as shipped yet. As of like 2 days ago, they still weren't shipped, and today's Sunday, so I'm sure that they won't be shipped today. But I guess she might have shipped them. I noticed that Etsy has changed its setup. Is that a lie? Yeah, so they're all just marked as shipped. The jewelry one is still not. The gunmetal stitch markers are still not marked as shipped, and I ordered them on the 23rd, and I don't know if she just hasn't marked them as shipped or what. So I'll probably wait until like Wednesday of next week and be like, oh, did you ship these? So, I don't know. They're just plain metal stitch markers, so it's probably not going to be that big of a deal. And I only paid like $3 some for them, but they look like they're really good, easy slide stitch markers. The other ones are the Winnie the Pooh ones that I ordered. I'll show you the two that I'm not using right now. So this is the Rabbit and Pooh. They're pretty cute. You can tell that they're hand done. And so those are in my bag with my shawl because I need to keep adding stitch markers because it keeps getting more spines. So like the center spine here where I have my 2 sheep markers, that's marking a spine, and then I just started a section where it's making another new spine that'll branch off. You can see it starting right there. And those are the Tigger and Piglet. Here's Tigger and Piglet. I really like Tigger. He's pretty dang cute. I can't really see my big fingers anymore. He's really cute. Piglet's really cute. And then on this side, where there's another different line, is the Honey Pot and Eeyore. The Honey Pot did say, it did say honey on it, but you can kind of see where the white is. It rubbed off really easy, and it kept rubbing off, so I finally just wiped it off with a Kleenex because I didn't want to I didn't know what it was for sure, but I didn't really want it rubbing off on my yarns, so I just wiped it off because it's still really cute. It's still really cute by itself with the little honey coming out. And like I said, there's Eeyore. So those are really cute. I'm not like a super big crazy fan about Winnie the Pooh, but when I saw them, I was like, those are way too cute to pass up. So I did get those. I did get one of my new 31 bags that has owls all over it, but my husband A took it and packed some things in it. The other thing about it is it did not have the flat bottom like all these have. The Stormborn Cowl is in this 31 bag. I mean, you can see, there's 2 skeins in there. These are all the different clues, and they're like 4 pages each in there, and each of those skeins is 430 yard skein. So, they're fairly large skeins, and they're both sitting in there just fine. And this project does fit in there. This is it right now, and I can put it in there at the end of the day, and it fits just fine still. I don't know if it will all the way through because it's supposed to be an 800 yard shawl, but I'm still waiting for the other one of my 31 bags, which is the Anchor Ahoy one, and that's a fairly recently one. I think it's from like 2 catalogs ago, so I'm hoping it has a flat bottom. If it doesn't have the flat bottom, I think it would still be okay to use for like a sock project, because that's not so big of a deal. But like a bigger project like this where I don't want it to really get messed up or have something happen with the yarn inside of it, I don't know if I would use it on one that flops. So hopefully it's got a flat bottom. These ones all have flat bottoms, and they've been out of 2 catalogs, the last 2. I ordered the summer one, the flowery one, this one that my socks are in, and then I think the gray one came out of the summer one, and then this one, and my navy white striped one. Those came out of the winter catalog. So those have all had flat bottom ones, and my thermal one that my Viajante in is from like 4 years ago, and that has a flat bottom one. So I'm thinking that the owl one that I got is quite a bit older, Or maybe it's just a different one and they discontinued it. I don't know. But it doesn't have a totally flat bottom like these ones do. And I really do like how they have the flat bottom. They stand up very well. So yeah, that's all for my knitting. Life in general, everything is so exciting and moving so quickly at this point now. Well, for this is, my husband left today at about 2 hours ago now. He left for Washington to finalize all the stuff for that motel there. We're still obviously still in this motel. We'll be here hopefully until the end of June, and beginning of July we'll be fully up in our other motel running it. The new owners of this place have come down. We signed last Wednesday to close this property, and they came in Friday, just 2 days ago, left yesterday, but they kind of got like a rundown of things on this motel. And we are fully moved out of this motel and living in my in-laws' home until we move to Washington. Fully moved to Washington, I should say. So we'll be in my in-laws' home hopefully. Hopefully by the end of this month we'll be able to get everything and go to Washington fully. He's signing papers on Tuesday for the other motel. So the plan is to, I don't really know how we're going to run it fully, because he's up there now with his dad, or they're on their way up there now. They'll get there tonight. It's a 11-hour drive from here, so they'll get there tonight. Tomorrow he's got to get some, like a new bank account and everything for the business. And then Tuesday they're signing papers on it. The guy who's running it now said that he will stay until July 1st. Yeah, July 1st if we want him to. I don't know, probably will, but I don't know exactly what we're going to do because he pays his housekeeper a lot of money. And so we're probably going to either offer them a different rate or release them. Well, he has to release them, but so we'll see. We'll see how all that goes because I don't know for sure. If she doesn't want to work for us anymore, I think that myself and my mother-in-law will have to go out there and clean rooms and keep the place running while they come back here and finish everything here, because Anthony's kind of the one that's more or less training the owners, and I'm just kind of staying out of it. So we'll see how all of that goes. The next few days are going to be wild on his end and different on mine because I'm completely at the motel by myself besides the housekeeper. My mother-in-law is still in Stanley, so if something comes up and I need her to watch the motel or run somewhere, she can. But it's wild. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be definitely different to see how things go. The sooner we can get up there, the better. Like if we could fully have detached from here and all went up there today, easily would have done it. But this guy's got no manager or anything completely set up. He's got somebody that he wants to talk to about it, and so hopefully he can get that done. And the guy is moving, he's moving here next week, I think he said, if his stuff is coming up here. He's not, I guess. He lives in Maryland or something. His wife lives here. So hopefully they can get something lined up or get somebody to watch it temporarily, because as willing as we somewhat are to stay here, at the same time, you know, we have another business to run as well as our own lives to get put back together. And this isn't our business anymore. And people, it's hard. It's hard being here when none of it is our choice anymore. Not that that's bad, but everything is kind of like, you know, he doesn't really know what he wants, and we're like, well, this is what we were doing, is that what you're doing? Like, what do you want, you know? So I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. We'll see. Um, there's a lot of things like for instance, we charge extra for like different cards because they cost so much more to process. And I don't know if he's gonna do that. We really don't know what he's gonna want and things like that he has to figure out. But he doesn't know anything about it, so we can tell him what we do. But for us, we're trying to tell him, you need to come in here and run it because that's how you're going to figure it out. He thinks that he just wants to do like the business aspect of it and the paperwork aspect and have the manager or whatever do everything else. And I'm like, that's fine, you can do that. But so that you fully understand what they're doing, you kind of have to attach yourself and understand the business itself. So that's everything that's going on here. Hopefully in the next few days we'll have answers on the other motel, and maybe figure out what we're doing here. Hopefully they'll be back. Their plans, I guess, are to be back. Well, Mel told the other guy the guy that owns this now, that they would be back by the weekend. I don't know if they will be or not. If everything goes smooth, I guess. Get mine. I don't know. So we'll see. And that's all my news for here and my quick little update of junk. Hopefully I will see you guys in either a few days or a week. So have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy your week. Hopefully it's not messy and stormy where you are because it looks like there's a storm coming in this way. But have a great rest of your weekend. Relax and rest up for your week. Keep your needles flipping. Bye.